Hello and welcome back to the M2 Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Hanty. My co-host right here is Kyle Heath. This is the show where we cover gaming industry-related news of the last week. What we're going to be talking about this week is a little bit of Warner Brothers, giving a little bit of a basically financial situation that they've had to deal with since dropping a couple of their IPs. Square Enix has kind of a mission to reboot, so definitely want to dive into that. We heard some news about basically a former Ubisoft director crashing out on the feed, basically talking about AAA devs and how nowadays, with the amount of bloat that they have, his games would have took like 25 years to make, he says. So we're going to dive into that, and then we're going to finish off kind of sad news, but Microsoft is apparently laying off like 6,000 employees. So I felt like that was big enough, like the number, not percentage wise of their like workforce, but that 6,000 employees, that's a lot of families. A lot of families impacted. Definitely got to talk about it. But before we get into the sadness and also just general updates, Kyle, how you been, dude? What have you been up to?
I've been chilling, man. I was really thinking about it beforehand. I don't know if I played a game this week. I'll say it.
No,
I don't think I did.
that's not like you.
The only video game related thing I did do was I went to the movies on Sunday and watched the Minecraft movie.
How was that?
I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I heard some people were enjoying it, and then others were like, "This is what I signed up for."
Yeah, the critics dumped on it. I will say that, but like,
Typical.
I don't know, man. I thought it was a good time. I wasn't expecting too much. I guess my expectations weren't high, so I was just like, see some Minecraft stuff, live in that world for a little bit. A lot of the sounds obviously are in it. It's a lot of familiarity if you played the game. There's a lot to kind of look out to. There was also a shout out to Technoblade, which I thought was really sick. And it was kind of just like a homage to him in the movie, which I thought was really awesome. Cool. So rest in peace, dude. But yeah, overall, I think it was really good. I mean, Jack Black, like, I love him in everything he's in, right? And Mario movie and stuff like that, like the Peaches song. He had like the Chicken Lava song in this movie. It was really good. I don't know, man. It's just like he's just his way of just making like these dumb catchy songs that just work. So,
dude, he's such a talent. Like one of my favorite shows or movies was School of Rock.
Oh yeah,
and it was entirely because of Jack Black. Just an awesome dude.
Yeah,
very, very passionate about music. Tenacious D, stuff like that. Very, very cool.
Yeah, dude, the scene where he's like teaching the kids like the different instruments and stuff, and he's like showing the class, like that shows up on Twitter now and again. I just stop and watch it.
Yeah. I see it too, like just like scrolling or like doom scrolling on Instagram or doom scrolling on YouTube and the feeds. It'll just randomly show up,
and I'm like, all right, well, not do it for the next 2 minutes.
It's like, dang, all right, yeah. It's like, I guess we're just gonna watch this for the next 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, dude, saw that movie, really enjoyed it. I don't know. I mean, if anyone's ever played the Minecraft games, I mean, it's one of those things. I wouldn't necessarily say like you should go watch it in theaters. Like, it's definitely one you could just like wait until it's on streaming and should enjoy it probably just as much. But overall, I thought it was well done. So I won't be the critics that poop on it. So.
Did you ever get a chance to get around to watching the Sonic movies? I remember I talked to you about it several times on the pod, and then I think in the group chat, who was it? Like, where did Nick end up going? I think he said he went to go watch Minecraft, or maybe that was you that mentioned it. And then I brought up like how
I think he said
you gotta watch the Sonic movies. It's really good.
I think he had mentioned like he was taking his family to see it or something like that. Or like taking his daughter to see it, something. So yeah, I think he did see it, and that's when we brought up the Sonic movie stuff. So I think I've seen the first one, but I haven't seen the sequel and the third. I think there's 3 now, right?
Yeah, there's 3 now. It's really awesome, like really, really cool. I loved it. To be honest, it's like the first movie is the antagonist is Dr. Eggman. And the second one, by the way, Jim Carrey's phenomenal in it. Yeah. The second one is Knuckles. And then the third, or Knuckles might have been in the first, actually, now that I think of it. It's kind of all blend together because I watched them like back to back to back. I literally watched them within straight up. And Shadow's in the third one, and Shadow is like such a cool character. Mm-hmm. Like the whole time I was just thinking, like, bro, I'm about to go play Sonic Heroes from the GameCube era. Yeah. It's so cool.
That's
So
amazing.
much fun.
Yeah.
They could use a remake for that game.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
reboot, remake for sure. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm trying to think any other stuff kind of during the week wise. I mean, mostly everything else is probably just non-gaming, just chilling.
Yeah.
Vibing out to some music and kind of
I feel
doing
that.
just kind of hanging around, doing not, when I'm not at work, it's just like, all right, can I just sit here and die for a little bit? So I just like sit around, just slowly die, and then back at it again on Monday, dude. So that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It,
look,
it
I know you've had a busy week. Like, I know you
I've
have.
had too much of a busy week. I'm
You had a
getting
busy
wore
week
out, brother.
times 5, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, times 5. Yeah. So basically, my personal life has been unhinged. Like, how long ago was it? Like 2 weeks ago that maybe 3 weeks ago, I said I was going to be cleaning up this entire room and having it set up. And that should just tell you how freaking busy I've been. It's just been never ending, just
Yeah.
constant, constant,
Hey,
constant.
at
It's like,
least you got your setup. At least you got that.
yeah, that's true. I do have the setup. I have it. This is one of the things I'm kind of happy about. I bought an adapter for my work laptop, and this kind of goes into like we like to dive into tech and innovation stuff. So this little adapter, it's very common. It's kind of like a dongle that a lot of people use, like a dock that people use with their laptops. So it has a. Honestly, I should go grab it, but I don't want to stand up. It has three HDMI ports, a display port, a power adapter, a most importantly an Ethernet cable because I prefer to use Ethernet whenever possible, especially for work. I can't have like fluctuating Wi-Fi and interference and stuff like that. It's just for the stuff that I do, it makes my work experience horrific. So
Yeah.
hardwired stable connection is the way to go. Like 3 or 4 different USB adapters. It's stacked and it's like it's quite literally smaller than my phone. And I this is a Samsung Ultra, S24 Ultra. It's really big,
Yeah.
but it's smaller than this, and it's able to do everything I just said. It's
It's
really
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got one of those and I attached it to the side of my PC and I got like a little station where I put my work laptop in, and then I just unplug my keyboard, plug it in. I have a mouse specifically for work. Then I get my whole setup in front of me, and I just switch from like DisplayPort to HDMI. And I'm cool with HDMI because it's like, yeah, it's just work.
Yeah, just
I'm
work.
not gaming. Yeah.
That convenience is crazy. I love it.
It's like, yeah, I was very, very proud of myself when I got that set up and just proud of everything that I got set up here. Like I got a smart TV for anybody that ends up staying in this room is like the kind of the guest room.
Yeah.
So got that hardwired in so they can log in and do whatever they want to do. Um, you can't see it, but right here I got the CRT actually hooked up with my old school Xbox, actually hooked up with all the cables connected for the stream. So I'm like, dude, I'm like, I am locked in. I got the cable connected to the mix amp, and it's yeah,
Sky's
I'm
ready.
really really excited about that. And the rest of it is just unpacking all of the boxes and electronics and putting them away, getting displays right. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah.
get the vibe right in here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a game room.
Yeah.
But outside of that, dude, yeah, I've been traveling. I went to
Yeah.
Phoenix, Arizona for like 3 days.
It's crazy.
Super busy. I haven't really done anything but watch a buttload of games and TV shows.
Yeah.
So that's that's basically what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's awesome. Look, I've been going through a lot. I'm so happy for you though. Now you have gigabit internet. So it's like
Oh
now
yeah.
you could really be able to take advantage of it whenever you like get settled and stuff. So
Oh,
it's
dude,
exciting.
it's very exciting. You know, for people that like a little behind the scenes, when we do things, Kyle's basically recording live on his PC and we're working together to get like everything working. But after you pretty much edit it, you upload it to a shared drive that we have set up,
Yeah.
and then I download it. For the longest time, dude, it was brutal. I would be able to download and like go play Marvel Rivals like 3 games worth, close to an hour before that full thing was downloaded plus uploaded. And now I'm basically like, all right, hit download. I go get some water, refill a drink, whatever, and then I come back already done. I upload it instantaneously
Yep.
almost. Like
that
completely.
that
It's
realization.
so nice.
We were literally on the call after like an episode, like the first episode we filmed, I think in when you were in that place. And it was like you uploaded it, you were like, whoa. Like you was like, dude,
Yeah,
what?
dude.
Like you were just
It's
like
so
pure shock. You were like, what? was like, yeah, dude, welcome to
It
Fiverr.
it's just
Nice,
been a
dude.
while, right? It's been
Yeah.
literally like 2.5, 3 years since I had fiber.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but it's so nice to have it back. It's so much like it's fun to game on. Um, and I'm just, dude, most importantly, like to game on, Doom Eternal has come out. Not Doom Eternal, Doom Dark Ages has
Oh,
come out, and
yeah.
I am raring to go.
Oh,
It's on
man.
Game Pass. I gotta probably uninstall like probably God because it's taking up like
Yeah.
uh, taking up a quarter of my hard drive. Uninstall that, but I'll have space. I'm big into Doom, and I really want to get into that and start playing some
Yeah.
a little bit of classic
I gotta,
movement.
yeah, yeah. I gotta install that. And get that
It's
at
on
least
Game
on my
Pass.
PC for sure. I don't know how much time I would have
100%.
this weekend to play, but I definitely want to
Oh
at
yeah,
least get it started. So yeah,
yeah,
that Expedition 33. Oh, it's so many games, dude. I need to
yeah.
catch
There's
up.
so much stuff, so much stuff. I'm looking forward to it because we got like Doom Awakening coming out in a couple of months. That's gonna be really good. I mean, dude, we're almost halfway through the year.
Yep.
Almost
Yeah,
halfway through. It's
dude.
going
We're
quick.
what, like 3 weeks away from Summer Game Fest? It's
Yeah,
crazy, dude.
yeah, dude.
Like,
It's
almost there.
it's just been full throttle for me. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm really looking forward to slowing down. I think I told you briefly before we started recording. It was like work almost called me to go to Baltimore.
Mm.
And I was like, bro, I can't.
You're cooking this man, dude. You're cooking him.
I'm just getting destroyed. It's brutal. But at the same time, I'm having like experiences.
Yeah.
I'm basically an expert flyer more than I've ever been. I've always traveled like my entire life.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's really
Anyways,
going
we're
up.
kind of we're kind of ranting over here. Should we dive into this week's like articles?
I think we should. Why not?
All right.
Dive right in, dude. So, yeah, dude. So let's start things. All right, we got Warner Bros. Games revenue drops 48% in Q1 2025. This is Sophie McAvoy. I never get it right.
McAvoy, yeah.
McAvoy. I think that's right. Hope that's right. I
Evoy
hope
and
that's
then
right.
Mick. Yep.
From GamesIndustry.biz, she says Warner Bros. Games revenue drops 48% in Q1 2025. Decline attributed to no new releases during the quarter, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League not meeting expectations.
Yep.
Both of which are very true. Warner Bros. Has published its financial results for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2025, reporting a 48% decrease in games revenue during its first quarter. The firm does not provide detailed figures for its games revenue, which is part of its studio segment, though it attributed the decline to last year's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League failing to meet expectations. It also attributed the fall in revenue to there not being any new releases during the quarter. Warner Bros. Did note that Hogwarts Legacy and Mortal Kombat 1 continued to accumulate revenue and highlighted the success of a Minecraft movie, which has grossed almost $900 million in global box office sales. It surpassed $550 million after 10 days in theaters.
It's actually crazy. I didn't know it was that intense.
Yeah, it's crazy. Almost $1 billion. Jeez.
Yeah, almost a billion in how many days did it just say?
It said it was $500 million, over $500 million in 10.
Yeah,
So,
10 days. That's insane.
mm. As for the studio's segment as a whole, total revenues were down 16% to $2.3 billion compared to the same period last year. Revenue for Warner Bros. Overall during Q1 2025 totaled $9 billion, a 9% decrease year over year. Following its financial or fiscal year 2024 results posted this February, Warner Bros. Addressed its restructuring program, which saw the closure of Monolith Productions, Players First Games, and Warner Bros. San Diego. The company described 2024 as a disappointing year for its gaming segment. It said its restructuring plan was put in place to refocus its resources and capital on proven IP and games from world-class studios. It added, we are focusing our games business around 4 tentpole franchises that have each generated over 1 billion in consumer sales in the past years: Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and DC. Particularly top-tier characters like Batman.
That makes sense.
They got to tap into Batman, Mike. They got to tap in.
Yeah,
Gotta do it.
they get well. They've been kind of tapping into Batman because of the Arkham games.
Yeah.
Those are good
There's a
games.
VR game they came out with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess the past few years that's true. What Game of Thrones game came out? There's been several mobile games. I know that,
Yeah,
but I feel
yeah,
like
that's a good question.
they got to kind of capitalize on Game of Thrones now because of the House of the Dragon. and that success.
Yeah, you think it'd
So,
be a nice time to strike, right? And it
I
seemingly
think
they just
so.
don't have anything ready, games wise, at least from the looks of it. I mean, I haven't really seen much, so I'd be curious to see kind of what they come up with if they do like an actual mainstream AAA Game of Thrones take. Because
That's what I'm saying.
like I say, there's probably like mobile stuff, but there's just nothing
Yeah,
like console worthy.
yeah. I'm looking at this. It seems as though all of the Game of Thrones games are mostly iOS,
Yeah,
for like board games and stuff.
yeah,
iOS and
that's
Android.
true.
There are a lot of them are on mobile. Interesting. I need to see.
Yeah, I didn't think about board games, but yeah, that's definitely one for
Board
sure.
games would probably slap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'd be really curious to see what they do with like a if they actually just went hard on a AAA like fund a studio to make something in the Game of Thrones universe. But as someone who never watched the show, I think it'd be interesting
You
to
never watched
see
the
how.
show? Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how they could. It'd be something I like if they made a game. I'd be probably more inclined to check it out since I haven't seen the show to see how kind of I could get introduced in that universe maybe as someone who's just not didn't watch the show. So I certainly would be curious.
Yeah, I think you should get into it. It's fairly solid. I think everybody should kind of watch things that were highly cultural relevant, you know?
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
because it's
I
like
agree.
you're kind of missing out if you don't.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Even if
a
you
yeah.
if you get to the end and you're just angry like everybody else was,
Scared to
but I
watch,
think it's
dude.
kind of
Be terrified to
it's
watch
kind
that
of
last season.
necessary.
Everyone was talking about that last season. They're like,
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball a lot, but whatever happens. It
you
is what
know,
it is.
it doesn't. You're saying it doesn't negate the first half that they,
Dude,
you know.
quite honestly, and I'm not exaggerating, the first half of Game of Thrones was probably some of the best television I've ever watched. And
Oh,
I've watched a lot of TV.
it's
It
crazy
was really, really good. But that is why the last season was so bad because of how
because
good
it
the
was so
first
good.
season was.
Yeah,
And they just like the plot lines, nothing made sense. They were adding what seemed like twists that didn't belong there. So I think that's the beauty of House of the Dragon because you kind of already know what's going to happen. But it there's still like there's this cool thing in storytelling that even if you know what the ending is, the journey is the movie.
right.
You know, like a really good example of this is Lord of the Rings. You always know what's going to happen at the end, but the journey in which you go is like really interesting and really cool. And
Yeah,
it's one of the concepts that there's like meta in game Lord of the Rings where you got I know you haven't seen it, but Bilbo Baggins writes and tells Frodo, who's his like nephew, to go off and explore. And he's basically like, it's not about the destination; it's about the journey you have.
yeah,
And that's kind of like what games should be. That's kind of like what movies should be,
yeah,
or TV shows. And I think, yeah, kind of getting a little sidetracked here, but I think that's it's worthwhile to check out.
yeah. It's the
It's
ultimate
a,
life lesson too. It's not about the
yes,
destination; it's the journey and who you meet
yeah,
along the way.
that's right. That's right, baby.
The ultimate sounds cliche, but it's so true.
It is 100% true. I mean, if it's said commonly, it's probably true.
Yep. If it's a cliche, probably has validity to it, you know.
That's right.
But yeah, hopefully Warner Brothers can get some validity back. You know what I'm saying? After just all this, like, just mid, they're just putting
Yeah.
out this straight mid, boy.
Well, if they stick to Harry Potter, because Hogwarts Legacy, people are still playing that. It's a really good game. I That's on my games to play list, and it has been for a while. I just haven't had time. Mortal Kombat 1, I played that for like basically the first handful of hours, and then I got busy. So that's still on my PC. And I love Mortal Kombat. I love the stories and like the lore. It's really cool. And DC, you can just pull from anything, man. There's so
Yeah,
much cool stuff in DC. I want to see like a true villainous game from DC.
yeah.
I'm not
Be
exactly like,
interesting.
but it can't be cringy, you know. It's got to be something like just dark and evil. Like, give me Bane's background story or something
Yeah.
evil. You know,
Yeah.
Mister Freeze.
I would,
Like,
yeah, like, I definitely dive into like the more niche kind of characters. I feel like at this point that would be what makes it interesting. Because like, I mean, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure I saw like a Superman movie preview when I was like before the Minecraft movie, and I was just like, we're doing this again, like more
Oh,
Superman kind of
dude.
thing. Like, I don't
I
know,
think
it's
that's the
crazy.
problem. It's kind of the problem with AAA games. It's kind of the problem with big budget films, where these devs and directors don't want to take the risk.
Yeah,
They're even doing it with like TV series adaptations. They're taking established IPs and then just kind of cooking you over with
yeah.
it's like they mutate a good IP into what they wanted to show, but it's like what they wanted to show was ever that good.
Yeah.
It's it's just
Right, yeah.
it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Warner Brothers can figure it out. I mean, I think the focused intent of just sticking to four things is definitely gonna help. Not trying to
Yeah.
spread yourself too thin. So
Well, they just need a vision. And
yeah.
I don't think they've had a vision for a while.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think they have either. Like it's they just kind of like stumbled and then they found some gems like Hogwarts Legacy and like Batman and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
Yeah, Batman's always been good. I think where they've kind of just lost their way was trying to copy what other people are doing. And if you're trying to copy what other people are doing, people are going to play better games. That's just what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
It is kind of crazy. Like the last point really to me is that it's kind of crazy with the Monolith productions and how they like canned like the Shadow Mordor kind of Shadow War stuff, and like they had really good systems in there. They had the Nemesis system, I think they called it, and it was like
Yeah.
there was something solid there that I think they could have built upon and really iterated on to make something great. And so it's like to see that go kind of sucks, but I guess it's just
Yeah,
kind of
dude,
part of the decisions for whatever reason.
I don't know. I think part of it too is you got to build a game that will be successful. Like it's a risk factor, right? Like you're trying to figure out how much you can possibly spend to make a good game and make it entertaining, but then you got to decide on who your audience is. If your audience is some like people like Lord of the Rings, that's typically an older audience. Like the movies came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
So you're not going to get a whole lot of people that were doing that. Not a whole lot of people really read anymore. They're reading more like new sci-fi adult like books. That seems to be more of a trend now, but not really the Lord of the Rings series. Not really Harry Potter. Remember when Harry Potter was everybody was reading that in books
yeah, it popped
in
off.
school? Yeah,
Yeah,
it popped off. But it's like it's kind of slipping.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you got to figure out what's the next thing for the next generation, and who knows what those people are doing. Those
yeah.
kids,
Them kids, yeah, I don't know, dude.
them kids, who knows?
So funny. We quick story too. We were walking out of the theater when the movie ended. We passed by this group of kids who, like, I don't know if they were just in there or they were waiting for another movie. And one of them was on the phone, and we just heard them talking about like skibbity and this and that. And,
Yeah.
like, and he said, like, the kid on the phone like was talking. He said a line talking about like, yeah, I was like telling him like skibbity and stuff like that, and we just like we're just like it's just a whole other world, man. And we were just laughing
Oh
like
yeah.
these kids, dude. It's just so funny.
Oh yeah. They got their own language and
Yeah,
stuff. I mean, that's how
that's
every
what it seems
generation
like,
is.
dude.
Yeah.
Dude, we were just dying because the skivvy stuff. It's like it still hasn't died. Still
Nope.
very
Never
much real.
will.
So funny. You know
All
what
right,
else will
boss
never
man. Shall we
die?
move on to the next one?
You know what will never die, Mike?
Square Enix. Goodness
Right.
gracious. I got a
Sorry.
buddy of mine that absolutely loves talking about Square Enix. For the longest time, like before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, he would always have a one-liner. He was like, "We were able to get 3 Halo games before Kingdom Hearts 3." Just
Dude,
like he would just keep adding
the
on.
jokes are so good before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. Oh my gosh.
He was always memeing. Oh man, I forgot, like he would be playing Halo 5 and streaming, and he'd be like, I got this glow in the dark sword that makes me invisible, makes me fly before Kingdom Hearts 3. Just like just everything had that punchline. He's a pretty creative dude. Still streams actually. Still crushes it. Anyways, I digress. Let's talk about what Darren Bonthius. I think that's right. Bonthius over at GameSpot wrote about. So his title of the article is Square Enix reveals its plan to reboot, and it's in quotes, the company over the next 3 years. Square Enix wants to focus on delivering high quality games more consistently. Interesting. Hopefully this is good because Square Enix has been kind of frustrating to deal with, although they've had some good bangers and reboots themselves, with, especially with like the Final Fantasy series. It's not like they're a struggling developer, but
Yeah.
but they kind of got a I don't know. they're an old developer that could probably use a little bit of a mix up, like a rebrand, like a reboot, I guess is what they're
Yeah.
going for.
Yeah.
Anyways, Square Enix plans to emphasize quality over quantity for its games business and has come up with a new strategy to help realize these goals. The company has now revealed more details on a Square Enix Reboot and Awakens medium term plan that will unfold over the next 3 years. According to Square Enix, it plans to adopt a multi platform approach for its games, leading to major titles being released on a consistent basis starting 2027. So March 2027. So Q1. Got a couple of years for that, but hey, it'll be here quicker than you know. All of its game titles will be placed under the management of the same studio, and this will allow all of its in house knowledge to be consolidated, accumulated, and shared. Square Enix added, and this new approach, has also resulted in several in development games being canceled, as Square Enix decided to focus its resources on funding other projects instead. I think that has more to do with the current economic climate that we've been dealing with the last 2 years, where the gaming industry has just had massive layoffs and just trying to figure out where money needs to be allocated. Anyways, there is a graph here. It's a closer look at Square Enix's medium-term business plan. Talks about future year or financial year 2026, quarter three looks like the part of the 3 years. Next one goes into 2027, and then the future 2028. So what we got for 2026, and hopefully I can zoom in. Will you open for me? Let's find out. Yes, I got something here. I can't read it because it's kind of blurry, but one of the Final Fantasy games released 2025 on the Switch and the PS4. There was Bravely Default, which is supposed to be released in June 2025 on Switch 2, and Dragon Quest 1 and 2 released in 2025. So there were plans to release multiple new titles and multi-platform titles. The release dates to be announced is Final Fantasy was it 10 14? Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 title for China. Final Fantasy 14 mobile. There is also a Switch 2 release of the Fantasy 7 remake intergrade, and then there's a couple more like plans to release major titles, and there's just random blocks, and then like more plans to have previous titles on different platforms. Seems to be the plan, get as many games as possible on all the different platforms. But to continue on, this is a quote, let's see, from Square Enix in an update to its investors. Under new management structure, we reviewed all projects at our domestic studios, including HDB and SD titles, and decided to discontinue development of some titles and invest additional funds in titles that require refinement, therefore, steadily implementing a strategy of selecting and concentrating development resources. We will continue to control the scale of development investments in a disciplined manner. Please keep investing in Square Enix. That's what that says. There's some more here. There is the new multi-platform approach is already active, as Square Enix recently announced that the entire Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy will be coming to the Switch 2 console. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade will be a launch uh, game for the console alongside Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, but a release date for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth hasn't been revealed yet. Final Fantasy XIV also arrived on Xbox consoles last year, and Square Enix is looking to bring more games to Microsoft platform in the future. And also, there's a little bit of a selling thing over here talking about Final Fantasy X Magic the Gathering.
TCG.
TCG pre-orders restocked at Amazon. So a bunch of different box arts for Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering. So
That's kind of sick. I mean, I don't want to collect
very
cards,
cool.
but it's kind of sick.
I mean, might be worth it. I mean, there are a lot of cards.
Now's the time to start, Kyle.
Yeah, I like this. This is cool. There's a lot of people that are very excited. A lot of people are saying they need to get rid of the idea of doing remasters and calling that quality. They need to start making actual games that are new. And
Yeah.
this is funny. One of the comments on here is CEO. This is what the CEO said. I have a bold strategy. Let's actually make good games. And then in like parentheses, $1 million raise given, and then investors take my wallets. It's just funny. Oh
It
yeah.
was pretty good. I
Yes,
mean,
sir. So, how are we feeling about the mission of Square Enix to make good games?
you got to do it. It's got to be done. What can I say? This is the
Just
only
make
way,
good
Mike.
games,
It's the
guys.
only way. Just make some good games, dude. Stop shoving these
Seriously.
remakes and remasters down our throats. That's all I'm saying, bro.
I mean, the remakes are pretty cool,
I
but
mean,
I
they're not
still
bad,
don't.
but
Yeah, I still don't think it's even worth like. I don't know, man. It's probably not worth anything to be honest. Doing remakes all the time and then claiming it, being awards and all that kind of crap. I
yeah,
don't know, man.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd be inclined to agree. It's crazy. I mean, I just want to. I would love for Square Enix to be, a giant. Like they are a pillar. I feel like of the industry, but
Oh
they've
yeah,
definitely lost. I think a lot of their luster, for at least for me, over the past like few years. And I mean, I mean, I say that I know like in the like, for me personally, I haven't historically been like a huge kind of like Square Enix fan, at least of their titles. I do want to go back at some point, play through all the Kingdom Hearts games. Been told
yeah.
it's like those are must plays, so it definitely needs to happen.
I
And
think
it's
you
on my
definitely need
plan.
to
So
like the Kingdom Hearts story is just so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Like
yeah,
you need about like 12 hours worth of YouTube footage of people just breaking it down for you.
yeah. It's also
Um,
what I've heard.
but I think you should still play it. It's one of the coolest games ever made. I think it's really really cool.
Yeah,
It's really well done. Square Enix, I've always thought that they made fantastic games. They're really really like you said a pillar, and
yeah.
I think they're always going to be a pillar as well.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up. I think it's probably part of the reason why I never really got into Kingdom Hearts was the lore and like how you play it. Because some people are like, you can play it canonically, and then here's like the order
Yeah.
you play the games, and it's like this is how you get the best and most out of the story, kind of thing. Or you could watch like these 12-hour breakdowns of story
Yeah.
beats, and it's like there's two ways to do it, I guess. But
Oh, there is. It's just hard to understand
yeah,
sometimes.
I think for me, it's like just give me 1, 2, 3. I'll just play those. That might be my
Yeah,
plan. Just keep it basic.
100%. Yeah.
But I definitely want to get to those at some point for sure.
Yeah, you'd be all right. Figure it out.
Yeah.
But should we switch up gears and go see what Ubisoft is up to?
Former director of
Ubisoft?
Ubisoft, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, basically the crash out.
Ah, yes. I also got a
I'm
notification on my phone about the Carolina Hurricanes hockey game that just ended.
Oh yeah, they won 3-1.
Let's go, baby. We advancing.
Eastern Conference Finals,
We
baby.
advancing out here. Let's go,
Yes,
dude. Shout
sir.
out. That's crazy,
With the
bro. It was
power of
1-1.
friendship.
It's 1-1 we were watching, and then third period Canes kicked in.
It's always third period Canes.
Always.
They got to be the team that scores the most in the third period. They're just
Yeah, there's
crazy.
got to be some stat. It's so
Yeah.
true. Something.
Oh, Ovechkin's crying. Oh no.
Oh man, man's happy, bro.
Yeah, he's happy he gets to go home and see his wife and kids, and not get to play anymore. All right. Anyways, let's jump into what's going on.
Um, former Ubisoft director Claire Obscure Maker slams AAA dev bloat, saying, "quote It would have taken 25 years to make my game." Oh, it's coming from TechSpot. Cal Jeffrey out here
Yikes.
reporting the heat. This one had me excited to read, so get into
The
it.
drama.
Smaller teams are making better games. Go figure. Go figure, man.
Oh yeah,
It's what we've been seeing. Smaller studios.
it's true.
Man,
All
this
the
year it's
indie
kind of
devs are
crazy.
basically clutching it up.
Smaller studios out here proving that it can be done. Small teams. So let's get back to the fun. Video game industry has always been unpredictable, but the current trend in AAA development raises serious concerns about its long-term viability. As costs rise, development processes grow increasingly bloated. Many question whether the industry is on the verge of another crash. Recent statements by former Ubisoft creative director Guillaume Broche. That is my American pronunciation of that. I kind of think I
It's good
nailed the
enough for
last
me.
name. I don't know. That's probably
It could
way
be
off.
brochet or broche. I think it's
Broche.
broche.
Broach.
I
I
think it's
like
broche because if you do brochet, I think it would have the e
the.
above.
Oh, you're probably right. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know, but
I know.
yeah.
You seem right. Anyway, Mr. Broach suggests that the situation may be more dire than previously thought. Broche, who founded Samfall Interactive after his tenure at Ubisoft, recently commented that getting approval to develop Clair Obscur Expedition 33 would have taken 25 years at a larger corporate studio. His studio emphasizes the magnitude of bureaucratic red tape involved with large AAA developers. Fortunately, Broche escaped the constraints of the corporate politics. His departure from Ubisoft is a case in point. Broche told the BBC that he quit Ubisoft because he was bored with his job and frustrated at the lack of creative freedom. That says a lot about the struggling publishing house, considering his titles included assistant creative director, associate producer on Ghost Recon Breakpoint and The Division 2, and brand development manager and narrative lead on the Might and Magic franchise.
Oh, I thought you said nerd lead at first. I was like, what? Narrative lead.
Narrative
Okay.
lead, yeah. Narrative, okay. Projects like these, Clair Obscur, with new IPs, original stories, completely original characters, are super hard to push through in a big company. There are a lot of approval steps, and in general, in big structures, you already have to have proven yourself and be pretty high up in the hierarchy just to have a chance at pitching this kind of project. For me, a project like this would have taken 25 years to make in a big company, and I don't have that much patience. We also wanted to do things our way, our own way, and really create an atmosphere. That's what this game is, creating a vibe. They really did. I'm saying I'm only a few hours in,
Yeah.
but they really created a vibe with this one. Um, yeah, I mean, and before I move on, I think it's worth that the red tape is very true and is becoming increasingly true in these bigger studios. The
Oh, yeah.
worst, one of the worst offenders of it is Bethesda, and that's why I think just the game quality has dropped severely over the past decade. Is because
I think you're right.
the company has grown so much, and there's just so many levels of approval that stuff has to go through. Like you can't make stuff quick, so a lot of stuff is just kind of like, well, good enough, and then it just moves on. Um, and I
Well,
think
I
that's
feel
part of the
like
problem.
the other thing is too, it's like talking about the creative freedom. I think it comes from the top, right? Because the board of directors for these huge, or like board of directors, or what am I thinking? Investors. I feel like the investors are kind of like naturally they're going to be risk averse. They don't want to waste their money.
Right.
They want to make sure their money is going to be like return on with interest and like they make money off of everything. So they're probably if they invest enough, they're going to have kind of like a stronger say in what the game should be. So
Yeah.
they're probably saying like, "Hey, don't do too many risks. Just do what works and what
Yeah.
sells. That's all that
Exactly.
matters." Because they're not gamers; they're just trying to make money.
Yep.
You know, they're not
Very
doing
true.
it for the art. I think that might be more about what it is, but it also ties up into the hierarchy that you were saying of like
Yeah.
so many different levels that you have to go through approval. But why does that need to happen?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm thinking it's ultimately about the money
Yeah.
and what
No,
people can get out of you.
I think it's very true. I think that's probably the biggest obstacle of them all. It's literally just
Oh yeah,
how money gets involved, and you're saying let's keep on pumping out Assassin's Creed because that's what works, dog. I ain't trying to do your little Clair Obscure product. I don't know what this is. What is this world? Explain it to me. And it's like this whole thing, like it's
oh
just
yeah,
crazy, man. Yeah, it probably would have never happened. Yeah, there's a lot of red tape stuff. I think the biggest thing, I still am mind blown when I saw it was a documentary with Double Fine and Matt Booty comes in from Xbox and essentially tells him like, "Yo, you come up with an idea, the studio, guess who owns it, baby? Microsoft. It ain't
that's
yours
right.
anymore. You come up with it. Yeah, sure, you came up with it, but we're gonna take the credit and we're gonna like
Of course,
keep it. Like it's crazy, man.
absolutely.
And like seeing like that and stuff, it's like it like as someone who's just a consumer of and just a gamer, and I see that. It's like as a consumer, I'm like, well, that's gonna really, I think, limit creativity, especially as studios grow. And so it makes
Yep.
me worry. It's like, oh, okay, studio's successful, but it's like, okay, how are we gonna grow this thing? Or like, how big are we getting? Like, are you gonna get consumed by a bigger company? It's like, I don't know. It's all just kind of scary now when I see that. It's like I just don't know what to think because like I want to be
I,
happy, but it's like I don't know. It's a weird place now.
yeah, it's very weird. I mean, there are some exceptions out there where you got what Daylight Studios is that
Hazelight,
the ones
talk
who
about
Hazelight.
Hazelight, yeah,
Thank you.
Hazelight.
I say Hazelight. Hazelight Studios because they make really really good games, and then
Yeah,
you would never think that
they
EA is their publisher.
they've been very consistent. One of the most
Yeah.
consistent devs right now in the industry. So
Yeah,
yeah, they're
but it's a
certainly
small team, and they
yeah,
know exactly what they wanna do, and they have a mission and direction of where they wanna go about it. It's,
yeah,
and I think the nature of their games just in general is very innovative,
Yeah.
of just like take all the different ideas and just throw it in. Why can't you throw it in? It's a video game. Just do
Yeah.
what you want to do, and they just add it in if it's fun.
Let's make it a
It's
co-op
very, very
experience.
cool.
Bam.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Couch co-op, bring it
Yeah.
back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, for sure. There's certainly a, I won't say an exception. Maybe they're definitely doing well. We continue on with this article. His feelings are hardly surprising considering how the industry's biggest franchises, particularly Ubisoft's, have stagnated. Assassin's Creed, once groundbreaking for its parkour and crowd mechanics, have become a repetitive cycle of sequels offering more of the same and with less polish. What began as a fresh and exciting series is now a shadow of its former self.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a double pun too, because Assassin's Creed Shadows, but
I was
I
thinking
know
the
they
same
didn't.
thing.
I don't think
He
they
did that on
I
purpose.
don't know if he intended to do that. Anyway.
I think he might have.
Despite attempts to refresh the series with features like settlement building and museum mode, these additions failed to rekindle the magic. Ubisoft put multiple teams and studios to work revamping the franchise, but much of what they added felt like clutter. Even the mechanics that once made the series unique, like moving through crowds, now feel neglected, as if developers put little effort into maintaining them. In AC Syndicate, for example, Jacob and Evie sometimes perform the nudge aside animation after they've already passed the person they were nudging. Yeah, it's little things like that throw you out of it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's easy to use Ubisoft as a whipping post, especially considering Broche's remakes, or Broche's remarks. But this problem isn't unique to the French developer. Nearly every AAA studio has fallen into the same rut, treating microtransactions, season passes, and price hikes as the only solutions to declining revenue while ignoring the real issue, a growing lack of innovation. If the industry doesn't change course, it will face a crash similar to 1983, with only indie studios surviving. The signs are already visible. Players reject inflated pricing and formulaic designs by playing their backlogs and waiting for sales. The days of blindly throwing money at games offering little in return have ended. If developers don't take risk and embrace new ideas, they'll face a market that no longer accepts their stale approach.
Yep.
He's spitting, man, bro.
He's spitting facts. He is spitting facts.
I love
That's
it.
the sad reality.
Cal's out here. Let's go, Cal.
Yeah.
Right in heat. Crazy.
It's absolutely true, I think. If I want a new experience, I try to look for the indie devs. I always love, dude, Summer Games Fest is going to be so exciting because they have an indie game section. And we get to see some like fire looking games.
Day of the
and, like,
Devs.
just
Can't wait.
just stuff that you never get a chance to like envision or see. It's just people being super creative, new games, and new experiences instead of the same recycled crap constantly. And I say this as somebody that's like looking forward to the next Doom game. And it doesn't mean that I don't like what I don't like. Like, there's a lot of likes. But what I'm trying to say is if I want a new experience, which is kind of what gaming can be, because you can literally make whatever the heck you want, um, you should try to experience a new experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, I mean I certainly agree. I wish I don't know, I just wish there was more. There seems to be little encouragement. I think this article talks about that really is like the less and less encouragement of trying to actually have people present their ideas and try new things, do different things, because it's just gotten to a point in the AAA space where it's like revenue is king and we are doing everything we can to maintain the margins. Like,
Yep.
we're not going to experiment. Screw that.
Sad.
Not going to happen.
It's just sad.
Yeah, it is. And now
I think it takes the fun, like it's like a double-edged sword, I think, because you have so many people trying to become video game directors and video game developers, so they need a job and they need to work for different studios. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you gotta take risks. You gotta remember why you're in the game. You know, like,
gotta remember why you
really
do this, man.
Yeah, like, do you really want to be hired and then being a like background dev, just issuing updates that are the same crap for like 5 years
Yeah.
on a live service game? No, man. You kind of want to create your own thing,
We're
but you
gonna
also
put
got to, bro. You got to work. You got to feed. You got to feed the cats. You got to feed the dogs. You got to feed yourself.
I was just thinking about like you get hired at whatever the studio is for Suicide Squad, and there's like, all right, you're going to be working on the next season pass, and it's like you're just stuck on this game, and you're like, oh,
yeah. I mean, dude,
hate it here.
there's some things like in my my fields where certain projects, certain types of projects, I'm just like, dude, I can't keep doing this. You got to give me something else. Like right now,
Yeah.
we've been working and doing the same stuff, and we got approved for like working on a Burger King. It's been a while since I've done a fast food place, so I'm just
That's
like,
sick.
"Yo, let's go, let's go." And it's funny because, like, if I tell you what I do, in other projects, you're gonna be like, "Wow, that's, like, really cool." Those are really big projects, but it's like, "Dude, I've done, like, so many of these, I'm tired. Like, give me something else.
I've done
I'll do a
stadiums,
freaking
bro.
nail salon, bro. I don't care." Give
Give me something small, man.
not just small, just, like, different, you know?
Yeah,
Can't keep doing the same thing over and over again because if at that point you basically become kind of working like it reminds me of working as a clerk at a drugstore when I was in high school. It was the same exact routine
yeah,
every day. It's like,
yeah.
bro, I
It
can't.
breaks you. Breaks you.
Yeah, it totally breaks you.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I've learned increasingly. I think why those kind of jobs. I think they're definitely meant for a temporary period. It's like
Yeah.
just to understand how the world works, kind of thing. And yeah, but he's there's a point where he talks about there could be he suspects there could be a crash similar to 1983, and it's like just indie devs.
Ooh, yeah. That's true.
I'm not saying
I
it's impossible, but I think it would have to get way worse. I mean, I know it's seemingly it's bad at this point, but I feel like it would have to get way worse to get to that level of crash. Um, I guess we'll see.
if it
I don't know.
yeah, if it gets to that level of crash, it's going to be a little bit different because
Yeah,
it's going to affect the entire economy just because of like how big the video game industry and everything that employs it and how that all works. It's massive now.
yeah,
Absolutely massive. It's like quadruple, quintuple the size
yeah,
it was in 1983.
yeah,
So it's just a different game, because you also like for me personally, I think like the Fallout, or one of the articles that we're not covering, but Fallout the TV series getting approved for second and third season.
yeah,
Second season's already been approved. It's coming out like later this year, but third is already approved. So it's that to me is part of the video game industry. All of the live adaptations that have
yeah.
been going on. So it's not just them gonna like everything needs to crash for it to be as bad
uh,
percentage wise of like everything
yeah,
just falling in Armageddon. That's
yeah.
just crazy.
I think to a certain extent, a crash may be the quickest way to correct things in the industry, certain trends, investment
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
That's going to be the quickest if we actually do want correction. So I'm not, I as much as I hate to say it, I'm not entirely against it because I think it could correct a lot of processes and actually make bring back a lot of innovation and change and risk. Like just let's try this, like let's do different things because it's clear that consumers just aren't enjoying the current meta of things. So it could be a good
Well,
thing, but I
yeah.
mean, it's also I'm also mindful of like people's livelihoods at these studios, right? And it's like people putting all this stuff,
Yeah.
so it's like it's not necessarily that I'm wishing it, but it could certainly correct things quickly. I won't deny that.
Yeah, it's weird because they're trying to build entertainment for a group of people or like a group of people, like millions of people, and who knows if they're actually gonna like it or not. That's a huge, huge risk.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
how do you
yeah,
know if people are gonna like a game that's never existed before?
yeah.
Are
I
they
mean, I
ready for
think
that?
I mean, I think every game that comes out is a risk. Obviously, ones are like if a new COD. Okay, probably not as risky, like especially if they're just kind
Yeah.
of same
That's
old
why they,
formula.
they keep doing the same
Um,
crap.
yeah, like
They
stuff
have
like
been for like 15
yeah,
years.
stuff like that. Definitely no risk. Unless you just like actually just mess it up completely, then it's like you just screw yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's always a level of risk, but I want to see that. I want to see more risk out of these some of these studios, and there's a lot of stuff coming out. Look, next year GTA.
Yeah.
We get a first GTA in 12 years, baby. 13 years. Crazy.
That's true. That's gonna be interesting. It'll feel new, even if it's recycled, just because it's been so long
Yeah.
since the last one came out. I think I think what might be interesting is there's already been a shift in consumers no longer putting up with games that are broken at launch. We've seen review bombs that are just crazy harsh, and now people have, I think, stopped going back to games. Like you have one launch, like the first week, and if that isn't good, like if the game's buggy and it's broken and it just runs crappy on everybody's hardware, whatever
Yeah,
hardware they're using, then they probably won't come back.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of a good thing because it's bringing us back to this like era that we used to have where the games were physical copies and it had to be workable. Like it had to work. Otherwise
yeah.
your company's dead.
Right.
So
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
I think that's just kind of how it needs to go now.
No, I agree. I think the first impression is like, especially if it's like a new IP, is so important. If you don't nail it, you're just dead in the water. I mean,
Yes.
there's some games like Fallout 76, complete crap when it came out. And granted, it
Right.
got like a little bit of a following, especially as the TV show came out. People would jump back in, and it got players again. But
I feel like that's an exception though
yeah,
because of the
well, that's
TV
what I'm
show.
saying. Like, it not only is it because of the TV show, but it's also because it's a known IP. So it's kind of like, I think
Yeah,
over time, people are like, oh yeah, I'll get back on Fallout. Why not?
that's
So
true.
certainly an exception, but I think for the most part, yeah, it's like if the game launches and it's trash, dude. People are it doesn't matter unless I mean, I don't know, No Man's Sky maybe that's another exception. Like there's a couple exceptions about like, but it's
Well,
like one of those things like it was so long. That game has been updated so much and it was just they just didn't want to die. And so it's
but
like I
well,
don't
the
know.
point of No Man's Sky, I don't think it's fair comparison. I'm talking about AAA devs. No Man's Sky was basically an indie dev. I think it was an indie dev.
Yeah. That's
Now
fair,
it's
yeah.
probably pretty big and it's like more established. But I'm talking about like here's a great example: Halo Infinite. When that launched, everybody that's ever played a Halo game came back.
Yeah.
Everybody. The first tournament, there was something like 160 or 80 teams.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
It's so nutty that that happened. I was seeing OG tags I hadn't seen in 20 years, bro. It was crazy, people coming back.
Yeah.
And then where are they now? Gone.
Ain't playing that game.
No. No, they're not. And apparently the
Um,
game's like fixed and it plays good. I
oh
don't know.
really? I haven't played it in 3
I
years,
haven't
dude. I
loaded
don't
yeah.
know.
I haven't played it in probably 2, 1 or
Yeah.
2 years now. I can't remember the last time I played it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
I
don't
think I
know.
loaded it up to see if when I updated to Windows, whatever, the newest one, 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, I updated to Windows 11. I was like, maybe that would have fixed my GPU. And then I loaded up Halo Infinite and it didn't crash on me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I just didn't load it back up. Like, I've been meaning
That's so
to.
funny.
I got buddies that play almost every night. But I'm way more connected to Halo. Like, I'm wearing an HCS Halo and then a FaZe Halo shirt. Like,
Man, this man's busy landing in mansions with them CRTs on H2, baby. He ain't
hey
got no
man,
time for Infinite.
if there's nostalgia kicks, bro, then it
That's
kicks.
yeah, you
So
gotta do it. Speaking of Microsoft,
good segue.
uh,
We're running a little bit behind. I feel like kind of ranted a little bit there.
yeah, just a little
Um,
bit.
that's okay though. Tom Warren's always got a quickie and a goodie for us. But basically, Tom Warren wrote an article. He's from The Verge, if you didn't already know. We've covered him several times. He wrote an article talking about Microsoft is laying off more than 6,000 employees. So Microsoft employees have faced a series of layoffs over the past year. So if you didn't know, Microsoft has basically issued like, dude, it has to be like 7 or 8 layoffs just in the last 2 years. Just constant. They ripped
Yeah,
apart their
these rounds are
gaming.
crazy.
They absolutely ripped apart their entire game, studios. I think, like, canceled 2 or 3 studios that were actually pretty solid. Um, they also kinda gutted the Activision Blizzard acquisition, got rid of people that were, double instances of roles, and also just Microsoft in general on their software development side away from Xbox, they had layoffs. But let's go into this. Microsoft announced on Tuesday that it's laying off more than 6,000 employees, around 3% of the company's entire workforce. These are the biggest job cuts at Microsoft since it laid off 10,000 employees in 2023 and will impact employees across Microsoft's businesses. So this is a Microsoft spokesperson, Pete Wooten, said in a statement to The Verge. We continue to implement organizational changes necessary to best position the company for success in a dynamic marketplace. That is the most PR investor heavy. Please don't pull out your stock.
Bang,
Uh,
bang, 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 bang.
like, you know, like just bullet points right here. All right, so I understand that the job cuts will impact all levels of Microsoft, including Microsoft owned LinkedIn and some international offices. The cuts come just weeks after Microsoft CFO Amy Wood hinted at reducing the company's management layers. So Amy Wood ended up saying back in April 30th, we continue to focus on building high performing teams and increasing our agility by reducing layers with fewer managers. Microsoft also started performance-based cuts earlier this year,
Mm.
which have targeted hundreds of employees to
Oh
try to get
man.
rid of the slackers, bro.
Oh man.
AKA return to office mandates.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what that is.
Pretty much.
You're making San Francisco salary in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay. See ya.
Get him out. Oh man.
Not a attack on Birmingham, by the way. I got family down there. That's why I said it. All right, so the latest job losses come more than a year after Microsoft laid off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees. And then in May 2024, the company closed several game studios, including Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks, and you and I were basically shocked on Tango Gameworks
Yeah,
getting shut
everyone.
down. They are since back, obviously, but and Redfall developer Arcane Austin. Arcane Austin was a pretty good developer. Redfall not so much, but that's the point.
Yeah.
Tango Gameworks later returned thanks to a deal with Krafton. So Krafton ended up purchasing Tango Gameworks after Microsoft killed it. I think for a relatively affordable price, if I remember. We covered it a couple of years ago. So Microsoft also laid off 650 more employees in September, Xbox employees in September, as part of a restructuring related to the company's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Microsoft also cut around 1,000 employees from its HoloLens and Azure cloud teams in June. Honestly, you can fire everybody at Azure because their servers are trash.
Oh, body. Hey, business
Honestly,
sector, they be making their money. I'm just saying.
they
Gaming,
do.
man.
Yeah.
Business, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's true. This is actually I love going to the comments like right away. And this guy, Reader Cat too, he said the power of monopoly is an amazing thing. They don't have to provide any good service or care about customers. They just have to maintain dominance and destroy competition with their power and money. And this is funny. Somebody goes, what monopoly does Microsoft have? Sounds like you have no clue what you're talking about. It's like, dude, are you out of your mind?
Oh
Name
man,
it, like, dude, every single work computer I know of, every if you're out of the art, like, industry, it's all Microsoft based,
you got
all of it.
Microsoft, you got Apple.
And
Can't think of
then
much.
the you got
Yeah,
technically 3
you got
other open
Linux.
source ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
Indu or whatever it's called, I forgot what
Yeah.
basically, like, headless stuff, programmer
Yeah.
language.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about it. Okay. Can't think.
I think Microsoft is, like, quite literally the most profitable company on the planet, and
Yeah.
to say that they don't have a monopoly is a wild take. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I agree with that one, but
No.
yeah, it's dude, yeah, I mean the layoffs. Are we surprised? One in the chat, one in the comments if you're surprised.
More layoffs? Dude,
Um,
they don't need to lay anybody off, but they're going to because the curse of what is now the economy of you have to keep making profits quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter. It's never enough for these people. It's so sad and it's so pathetic because they'll literally sell their entire family if it means their stock portfolio goes up in value. Just
crazy.
trash, trash.
The
I
tragedy of all this is insane.
Yeah, greed,
Corporate
money.
greed at its finest, you know. I think
Yeah, and the worst part about it is like you get to see 10,000 job layoffs in one instance, plus now you got another 6,000, plus previously you had 1,900, then 650, then another 1,000 here, here, and here. It's like, dude, that is so many families. That's so many people it impacts. It's not just like the immediate family. It will impact like the secondary family too. Like the in-laws it impacts. It can impact your granny who's stuck in a
yeah,
nursing home, and you got to make sure she's like healthy and fed for because their insurance is trash. It doesn't cover anything,
yeah.
you know. There's
Yeah,
so
man.
many things that this just impacts people. It's all to see the stock go up. Crap. It's
Yeah.
infuriating.
Yeah. I start getting upset if I think about it too much,
Yeah,
This
it's
is the
true.
reality of Microsoft and the
Yeah.
situation, so.
Yeah. I crashed out hella bad at work, and one of the guys I worked with, he goes, "Wow, you're really cheerful today." And I was like, "Dude, it's just this project type, man. I'm sorry. Like this project type I can't emotionally handle. I think it's wrong. I think it's stupid. I don't know why we're doing it." And it just like cascaded and I went back into a crash out. It's insane.
Something to do. She's just going crazy on the
It
mic.
really was, man. It was just never ending. And I was like, dude, this is why I gotta just sit down and I gotta listen to my EDM music and just vibe. Just vibe out. Honestly, that's why I play video games, really. Half
Yeah.
of it, stress reliever.
To
Just get
prevent the
me
crash.
disconnected. Yeah, prevent the crash out. If I get to just get on like a shooter and like play that, or I get on a fantasy. My favorite when I'm really in a crash out, and people that anybody that likes driving and they don't have a destination. They just get in the car and they play music and they just go. And they're like, I'm
Mm.
not coming back until I feel better.
Yeah.
I play I play Forza. That's my go-to.
Oh, yeah.
If it's really bad and you see me on Forza and I haven't spoken to you all day, it's
Uh,
bad. It's bad, bro.
I noted, dude.
You better send a welfare check. And by the way, I don't get texts during that moment. You gotta send like a carrier pigeon or something to knock on the window because I'm not looking at nothing.
Need an Amazon Flex delivery into this man's stat.
Yeah.
So funny. Don't worry, dude.
Amazon.
I'll postmate you a energy drink, dude. Peace
Post
offering. Be like,
Give me
yeah,
that
this.
discontinued bang energy, bro.
You get rid of the quickie
I'll
bar
know
down
it's
the
you.
street. That's so
That's
funny.
funny.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm think I'm from now on. I'm just gonna start calling anything entertaining a crash out preventer, and then start ranking them. What's my favorite crash out preventer? Oh, video games. One. Yeah.
Video games is definitely up there for
Little
me.
YouTube. There's another one. TikTok. Little TV show. These crash out
Music's
preventers.
all-time favorite,
Oh yeah.
but
Always.
music in which form? Live, obviously. Has
Oh
to
yeah.
be.
Oh yeah. Live is the ultimate.
Yeah.
That's peak.
Get me live in the summer where it's hot. The sun's down though,
Oh yeah.
and I'm in VIP, and I got fans and mist on me.
Oh baby.
And most importantly,
Oh.
I got something with tequila in it.
Yep.
That's all that
Dude,
matters.
oh man, you got me wanting to be a certain place right now, You want to be at a certain vibe. I feel it, dude.
Yeah.
Ready for summer.
I painted the picture. We're
Yeah.
really close for summer. It's literally like 2 weeks away.
Pretty much. I mean, pretty much already there. It was like 88 today. I was like, yeah, it's summer.
When I was out in Arizona, it was close to 100. It got up. We got up there.
It's crazy, man. Different kind of heat.
I'm built for that.
This is the thing, Mike. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I didn't want to spend too much time really talking about the layoffs. I just want to mention how it's just corporate greed. It's frustrating. There's going to be so much like, dude, if I scroll down, there's always related articles. Amazon laid off about 100 people in the team behind Alexa, Echo, and Zoox. I mean, dude, Alexa was kind of cool. The Echo was kind of cool, but at the same time, nobody really cares. The problem with CEOs and what's been happening with CEOs is they're becoming more of a brand to the company that they work for, and they like become the figurehead of that brand. Like obviously
Yeah.
Elon Musk is a perfect example of that with Tesla and Twitter. But when I think Amazon, I think Jeff Bezos. When I think Microsoft, I still think of Bill Gates, although he's not the CEO anymore. He's not even like in the company at all. He's just collecting checks and giving
Yeah.
it all away to kids in Africa.
He's on the board,
Yeah, but it's like Meta, Facebook. Yeah, you're thinking about Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
So those guys don't really work. They just kind of rep the brand. So because of that, they have this like political association that if people don't like them as people, then they'll probably stop participating in whatever they represent. You can see it with the protests with like Tesla. A lot of people didn't like Musk anymore, so they're like, okay, I'll protest Tesla. People are saying like boycotting Amazon because Jeff Bezos is Instead of spending his money helping people, he's like, I'm gonna send my friends to lower Earth orbit for no reason. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like there's stuff like that where what you do matters now as a CEO, and it has nothing to do with actually producing what you're producing. It's just
Yeah,
you rep the brand. Don't mess up the brand. It's kind of like being a full-time sponsored like
I pretty
artist.
much. I mean, you
Yeah, if
pretty
you
much,
mess up, they'll drop you.
yeah, you pretty much you're hitting the nail on the head, honestly. 'Cause, yeah, that's what it is now. About public appearance, all it is. It's crazy Iron
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's interesting too. I wonder if a lot of talks of people saying that Microsoft employees should start unionizing. Good luck.
Be a fat
Good.
union. Be a fat one.
It'd be a massive union. I mean, there's Amazon employees unionizing. It's weird, dude. We're in a very interesting period. I think these next 5 years, in terms of global economics and corporatization of everything and like consumerism, we're gonna see a big change. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad, but there will be major shifts, and it's gonna impact gaming like in a big way. I think
Yeah.
in good ways, it's going to make indie developers really empowered because you're going to start seeing people that are like, I only want to play indie devs now, indie dev games. I want to get that story driven content. I want to have new experiences. And the more that happens, the more opportunity that the small developers are just going to blow off. And then they're going to be serious competition between like Hazelight Studios and I don't know, Telltale. Because Telltale is like way bigger than
Oh
them,
yeah,
aren't
like
they?
Telltale.
Telltale, yeah, she's yeah. I
I
think it
they still. I think they're still around. I don't know.
Pretty sure they are. They started in 2004. Oh, was incorporated. Maybe they got bought. But it still has their own website. 20 years ago.
Crazy.
Yes, they're still here. Oh, their successor became Telltale Incorporated became Telltale Games, which is apparently a different Wikipedia page, which still exists. What
Nice.
the heck?
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's interesting. Doing business as Telltale Games. Okay.
Crazy.
They only have actually 40 employees, and I think that might be yeah, that's kinda an indie dev in a way. Just they've been around for so long that I've always thought they were like quadruple A studio, you know? When you're around
Yeah,
that long, you
quadruple
must be
A.
doing something good.
Quadruple A.
They
Scombos.
make so much games. They have so many games, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes, sir.
Do you have much else, Mike?
No, I'm done ranting. I think we let people go.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty. Well, without further ado, for those of you that stuck around, if this is your first time, we absolutely appreciate you. If this is your second, third, fourth, millionth time, we have the same thing we always have. We have the links in the description below that you want to check out. We also have timestamps that you can always come back to and just show love and support to the original writers. Without further ado, I'm Michael Ante. This is Kyle Heath. This is the show M2 Podcast, and we'll see you guys next week. Keep gaming, and hopefully, Kyle and I have actual stories of playing new games. Shout out Doom. But
True.
yeah, see you guys later. Keep
Bye,
gaming.
everyone. Keep gaming. Bye,
Bye.
Doom.